This is the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast, where we discuss Miles Morales, the one and only Spider-Man. I'm Zach, and I'm joined with Johnny O. How are we doing, bud?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year's. Got to get all that out of the way.
Happy holiday season all around.
Yeah. Did you have a
Zach, you know what I'm pissed off about?
What are you pissed off about?
I don't like that people don't say Merry Christmas anymore. That's right. This is one of those podcasts now. Anywhere you go, it's always Happy Holidays. And who are they fooling, really? I know it's January 5th at this point, but...
I just watched a video on Instagram. There's this guy that rage baits people while they play video games. I know, a crazy concept on the internet, right? No one's doing that these days. But he posted a clip where he was pretending to be the guy who hates Christmas. He's like, they're just shoving it down our throats, you guys. You know what I'm saying? And he got the whole
That's
chat
also
against
a funny
him.
bit.
Yes. He got everyone. He's like, I want Kwanzaa, I want Diwali, I want he just came up with every other religion's holidays. And he's like, but nope, they just shove Christmas down our throats. And there was one sympathetic guy to him in the lobby who was like, yeah, man, the holidays are hard for some people because they've lost family members around that. He's like, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about they're shoving it down my throat.
Good. I respect someone taking a stance.
Yeah.
Okay. How was your holiday season? Your Christmas and New Year's?
Very good. Very busy. I saw you.
We did see each other. We got a nice bowl of ramen.
Yeah. Or
Zach and his wife came into the city because they heard about a new ramen place and they wanted to try it, which is normal behavior. I think we can all agree.
It was Alyssa's recommendation, but I can remember you were like, so what are you guys doing up here? You doing something else today? Oh, you just came for this? Why?
A nice bowl of soup.
Yeah.
But they got to come over and meet the cats, and you guys met Mandy.
Yep.
Which is maybe her real name, or maybe not. Maybe I got yelled at a little bit for talking about Mormon stuff on the pod. No, just kidding. She's a good sport.
We can bleep it if you want, but I think you have already said it many times.
I have. Yep, it was very fun.
Yeah.
Now, did you get any cool Christmas gifts from a handsome co-host?
Oh my gosh, I did. I would go grab it right now, but
I've seen it, so it's okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't help anyone. The webheads can't see it. John actually gave me a Spider-Man head bowl that you put your Amazon Echo inside.
But you don't have to put an Echo in it.
Right, you can put anything in it.
Here's look, I have an Iron Man one. I might buy myself the Spider-Man one too.
Yeah. Oh, we could match.
I think it looks pretty cool.
It does.
And I like that my government can listen to me in such a cool designed helmet.
I was talking to my friend about this today. You know, we're sick freaks when we get together.
We're sick puppies here.
No, me and my very, very dark humor friend, we will text each other things. And we talked today about man, there's going to be a landmark case where the Supreme Court just throws our First Amendment right to free speech out the window. And it's going to be something like this, where people are texting jokes to each other about oh, we need to blow up our other friend's car, which we're not going to do. But at some point, the government is going to listen to someone's conversation and just be like,
they're going to say that was too far.
You know what? Comedy's illegal now. We can't take the chance that you're kidding about this. You go straight to jail for a joke.
I like the new route that this podcast has taken. All right, weren't you coming in hot with something? Did we already do it?
No, we didn't do it. I love how
What is it?
So left, we're right now. Okay, so we were talking about shirts before we hopped on the podcast. We were talking about fulfilling shirt orders, And I don't know if I've told you this, but I have been waiting now like 9 months for a shirt to come in from a band that I pretty well liked. And I would have been maybe one of their biggest fans in the world, which is not saying I'm the biggest.
Would have been.
Yes, genuinely. Like Spotify and Apple Music would
But
back
you're like,
that up.
not anymore.
Yeah, they're not a
Okay.
big band at all. They're a Gundam-themed screamo band. And I'm going
Okay.
to put them on blast. I'm going to say its name was Epion. They steal from their fans, dude. I pre-ordered this shirt like last spring, and it never
This is
came in.
a hot take coming from a former biggest fan in the world.
Dude, and it's so stupid. I want to keep singing their praises. I want to see them live, but I've even like checked with other people who commented on like that pre-order, and they're like, "I'm ordering this now. This is a great shirt." And I've asked them, "Did you ever get this?" And this band totally just took all of our money and is like ghosting everyone now.
And that was 9 months ago.
Yes,
Are they still putting out stuff?
they are.
Like, are
gonna
they
be-
active on social media, just
Not
ignoring
really.
you guys?
Well, sort of. They've been announced for like some shows, and I'll comment on the shows, and I'm like, "Hey, why aren't you answering us?" And they won't say anything. But they're not a big enough band to where they're like always posting and always active, you know? I genuinely might be their number one listener in the world, but I'm not the only one who bought this shirt, and the shirt was $50, and I'm just a little pissed at that. And
You should
they
be very
robbed their
pissed.
fans. And
Definitely.
here's the real
Yes.
kick in the pants of it. They're like a communist band. And so they took the 5 heads of communism, Marx, Engels, Lenin, Stalin, Mao, and they made their heads into Gundams. And the shirt is like, it looks like Soviet or Chinese propaganda, and it says rebellion is justified. And they're selling this like anti-communist shirt, and then they're robbing their fans.
Anti-communist shirt?
I'm sorry, anti-capitalist.
Wow. That probably says something about society.
Yeah. You know, Margaret Thatcher said
There's
that's the
a-
problem with socialism. You eventually run out of other people's money.
Hey, she's not wrong. Zach, the thing about capitalism is you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
That's right. Oh my
Uh,
God. That reminded me of another thing. I'm just going off on tangent after tangent.
Okay.
My best friend, he's such an idiot. He was like born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Not really, but kind of. We were talking about like
this is the oil tycoon.
he's not an oil tycoon, but we were talking about student loan debt, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, I have like $30,000 of it." And he's like, "What? How?" And he's always been the guy who's like, "Don't forgive them. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I paid mine off. It was hard work, but I did it." Turns out he had like
Principled
$6,000.
man.
He had $6,000 of student loan debt. His parents paid everything else, and he could not fathom that I had $30,000 of it.
That just makes me sorry that you have so much student loan debt.
Oh, don't worry. I'm just about to put on 50,000 more of it.
It should get forgiven.
It should, you know. I would
Zach, did
think
you
so.
know that if you work for the state for like 5 years or so, they'll forgive it? I think.
It's actually 10 years, and it's 10 years of qualifying payments while you're working for the state. So for me, because I was in deferment during COVID, it would be 15 years.
Oh, this is a scam.
And I checked this out. So with my qualifying payments, the only thing it would be saving me would be my last payment.
Wow. Because that's how long it would take to pay off anyways.
Yes.
Well, that is shitty.
Dude, the government's a scam.
Yeah, the government is a scam.
Which
Okay.
which president was that under?
His logic, it would have been like throughout the end of the Obama years into the Trump years is probably when he was paying it off.
So
I don't
Trump
know.
forgave it?
I think so.
Okay, well that settles
He's a
it.
forgiving guy.
He's the best.
He is the best. I didn't get to properly tell you about this band. Fuck
Okay.
them, Zach. Have you called the credit card company?
No, here's the thing. I know I could do a chargeback,
Yeah,
But
definitely.
at this point, it's the principle. I'm standing up for all the other And Its Name Was Epion fans that were wronged, because I'm sure there was dozens of us.
Well, the
And
chargeback probably won't affect them. They, I think, have already gotten that money. All it would do is the bank would probably pay. You would just say it's like they would just give you the money back for it, I think.
yeah, but I
I don't know. I don't understand. Wait, you have to explain your principled stance again. Why aren't you getting your $50 back?
I want it to come from the band, damn it. I want them to own what they did.
That's why you won't. That's why you don't want to get it from the bank. That's a principled man right there.
Yeah.
Okay, what else are we coming in hot with?
Nothing, dude. I'm like super chill. Nothing's bothering me.
Zach, everything's always bothering me, but not today. Life's too good.
I was kidding, because I just complained for 10 minutes straight.
That's what this podcast is for. Zach, look at this really old comic book that I have next to me here. Now, since this is an audio medium, the listeners can't see this comic book, but
they can imagine.
It's pretty old, isn't it?
It's very old. The frame is not. That's a beautiful frame you put it in.
It makes it look pretty nice, doesn't it? With the frame. Like, it didn't really look this nice. It looked much older, I would say, before it was put in the frame.
It's a very good touch, and it's a lot better than how I display my comics on the wall, which is just put a fucking nail through the back of the bag that I bought them in.
Well, I bought a case of like 10 comic book frames. So if you need any, I now only have used 2. So I think I have either 6 more or 8 more, depending on how many. I would have given them to you for another Christmas holiday gift.
Ah, okay. Well, now you don't have to shop for next year.
Zach, guess how old this comic is?
I looked it up. It's a Jack Kirby. So
yep, it is. That's why it was purchased, because you said that it would be worth thousands maybe one day, because it was a Jack Kirby. If anyone's wondering, it's The Mighty Thor: Journey into Mystery, issue 104, and it says Giants Walk the Earth on the cover. And Mandy got it for me for Christmas, because we were inside that one thrift store and I saw it, and I was texting Zach about it, and she could tell I wanted to get it. But it was like $70.
Yeah. No. Awesome find. I think we should read that issue for a bonus sometime. And
I was thinking the same thing.
Obviously, you don't have to open yours because it's a very old copy, but like I checked and it is on Marvel Unlimited.
Yes. Okay. I was thinking the exact same thing, because when I was flipping through it, it's pretty delicate.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Yeah.
I don't even think I have any comics that are like close to that valuable. You know, I've never been like a huge collector in terms of like having like the cool original printing, you know.
It's kind of amazing to me that there are people, like, when I'm thumbing through that, there were like 3 main comics out that were like the quote more valuable ones, but then there were hundreds of comics that they had that you could thumb through, and it's like, how could you even collect all of? There's so many at this point. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start if I wanted to start a comic book collection. Like, this is issue 104. That means there were people that had presumably 103 issues before. How much space did it take up to like be a comic book fan?
It takes a lot. I have a friend whose dad is a comic collector, and he has an entire room of his house just dedicated to these boxes that he never opens.
Wow. I wonder how much it's, I'm using quotes again, how much like it's worth everything in that room.
I would imagine quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think he's got the goods.
Okay. Are we coming in hot with anything else? Should we get into it? We've done pretty well. It's only 15 minutes, and it seems like we've covered a lot of topics.
Yeah, let's see here. I'm sure we angered the libs, the conservatives. I think we're good.
Perfect. Okay. Well, you can send it over to our sponsor, because you're always quick with it. You've got a witty sponsor always.
Amazon Echo.
Every business says they're better, but the ones that earn and display the BBB seal back it up. It instantly identifies businesses that are committed to operating with integrity, honoring promises, and telling the truth. Makes you wonder why every business doesn't have it. So look for it, because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Okay, Zach, we're back. Please, where did we leave off?
Okay, so we left off last week with Captain America meeting Miles and giving him his blessing after a little bit of convincing.
And then Miles joined the fight and helped out.
Yep, he helped take down the Rhino, and
yes.
So now
we
he has
had
the
an
web
issue
shooters.
with the Rhino. Did either of us even talk about Paul Giamatti last week?
You mentioned him.
Thank God. What a missed opportunity that would have been.
No, but you're on it, of course.
Okay.
So now we're going to see what Captain America does a little bit after that. So remember then in the Ultimates, the previous week, he was in New York for a spell, which is when our Spider-Man issues took place. And then he had to go right back out and join the fight again on the front lines because remember, America is splintered.
America
right?
is divided. We see it every time, every page. America's falling apart.
Yeah. Some might even say divided we fall.
And united we stand.
Yeah, which is the name of this event.
Country's built on. Is this called United We Stand or... Oh, it is. The last one was Divided We Fall.
Yeah, it uses both.
Cute.
My favorite type of crossover or event for Marvel is the ones where it's actually two crossovers with two different titles, but they are one combined. For X-Men, there was House of X, Powers of 10, which 10 was used as an X, so it was spelled House of X, Powers of X, and these were different series, but you needed to read both to get the same story.
Okay. Interesting.
I actually did like that one, but in general, I'm I don't understand that naming convention of it's one story, but we're going to give it two names and publish it under each different name.
Yeah. Yeah, it just makes it more confusing. We've encountered that, I feel a couple times.
Yes. But Hoxpox did rule. That's Jonathan Hickman joint. Okay, so we're getting back into the Ultimates. Ultimate Comics, The Ultimates, issue 15. We've got Thor on the cover. And, I forgot to mention one other thing that had happened in the Ultimates. The president is being contested.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
They found some crooked senator to say that the president was illegitimate and they were going to have an election.
Well, and there was Senator Underwood also, right? How did he come into play? Was he was the crooked senator?
Yeah, I think so.
Was he an important guy or something? Was that the guy that was meeting with the oil? No, that is the president.
He was meeting with the red-haired dude with the different colored eyes. Yes, who we still don't know anything about.
Yes.
Yeah. But all of that will...
But we will by the end of today's episode.
Will play into these issues, yes. Okay, so we open on the Colorado River, and there's a family that's on a life raft, and they're going down it, and they're saying, "Stay down, kids, don't make a sound." It's kind of harrowing. It kind of reminded me of those Quiet Place movies or something, or I guess in a more modern context, it would look they look like immigrants, fleeing, down a river. And the little kid stands up.
I think that's what they are.
Yes.
Right. They're people trying to get into another country.
And I think it's that they're leaving America. I think they're trying to defect to Mexico because the Colorado River would flow south.
No, they're trying to go into the West Coast nation. I think that's what California is being called.
Oh.
So this is happening on the Arizona-California border.
You know what, John? Thank you so much for calling me out on this. You are absolutely right. That is what's going on. I should have just read the issue where it tells me that's... Man, I was just making up a whole scenario. We can cut this. Anyways, so the kid stands up and is like, Dad, look at those lights. And they're like, Dylan, don't stand. And then the kid falls and he splashes in the water and causes a scene. And he attracts this group of like swarming bug robot things that clearly have like guns as their stingers. It says you have 3 seconds to return to your country of origin. 1, 2, 3. And then we see the news headline: a family of 5 was found dead along the Colorado River this morning, bringing the death total to along the California-Arizona border to over 100 victims.
So California is shutting itself off. They're the new nation. Their name being the West Coast Nation, which is so boring. That's what you'd expect out of a bunch of tech bros.
No imagination.
And they are just killing anyone who's coming over. There's probably some politics involved there. I bet there's a message to be sent.
John, you keep your lib politics out of my ultimates.
Okay.
I guess we shouldn't assume their lib politics.
I'll try. Yeah. I don't know. This might be some conservative politics, because this is much harsher than anything you'd find in, the United States.
Yeah. Well, and the first...
I think we can agree on that.
I mean...
No matter what immigration message they're sending, it's probably not as harsh as this.
So, yeah, as far as we know, we haven't invented killer bee robots yet.
As far as we know.
And it says, America's decision. Today's top headline: polls are opening across America for the country's historic first presidential recall election. Under special election rules, Americans will elect a president from a wide open field of candidates. After a 2-week campaign, voters have not been eager to make up their minds. President Howard, already facing accusations of legitimacy and questions of his competency, now faces stiff competition for the job. And Underwood is his competition. And then it says other. And so those are like, I guess, third-party votes. But it says, there are no parties.
So this issue reminded me of 2 different things when I was reading it.
What's that?
The first was like those episodes of The West Wing when it's like the election day episode and the whole thing takes place over the election day as the results are coming in and everyone's scrambling. And the second is a season of 24 where it's 24 hours, right? Each episode. And here we kind of get to watch maybe the Jack Bauer of America, kind of go around just kicking ass while the election results roll in over the course of 24 hours.
That is, I hadn't thought about that. That is good. And then the way that like these panels are like made into a grid, it reminds me of how in 24, a lot of times it would go into a little grid of 4 different screens. The clock would be ticking and you'd see like, oh, here's a terrorist planting a bomb and here's some people typing. So they're doing this election and we're seeing through like CNN. They're not allowed to call it CNN, but it's VNN.
Vought News Network.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Zach, I just watched a trailer for The Boys today. They're coming back.
Really? When
I know we're both wondering the same thing. Will the girl with the superpowered pubes show up in The Boys? I don't know. I think it comes back in April, actually. So pretty soon.
Faster than I thought. That actually, I am glad that they staggered it with Gen V.
It makes it seem like it's not quite as long of a wait, even though it is.
Correct. Yeah. Okay, so we see that no less than 20 independence groups in the Midwest have formed the Great Lakes Alliance. They have a guy that's dressed like Fidel Castro that they're calling the dictator of Detroit. They're just taking us through where all of these, insurrections are happening throughout the country. And then we see Captain America talking on a video screen to President Howard. And he's like asking for permission to go in and do a mission and save some people. And the president's like, denied. We need you elsewhere. Our resources are spread thin. And Cap does a big Cap speech, and he's like, those are Americans in those refugee camps. I can assemble a team. And the president basically says, no, I'm not fucking around with this. And Cap says, sir, with all due respect, your oath of office did not stop at the Mississippi last I checked. And he walks away, and the president's yelling at him. I like it. I like a good Captain America doesn't obey bad leaders moment.
He's not a state-sanctioned, soldier.
He just does what's right.
Exactly.
And we see him drive a Jeep somewhere along the New Mexico-Texas border. And he is standing there talking to Nick Fury, who we have not seen in a while.
I cheered. I clapped at the screen.
I think the last time he appeared in this podcast, he jumped off a helicarrier and just vanished.
Well, I would have forgotten that, but luckily Steve Rogers and now yourself, you have both reminded me of that.
Yeah. And because I was reading...
And weren't we like, where'd he go? Or like the people with wings jumped after him, but we didn't really...
Yeah, they
were behind him by quite a ways.
He's been on his own, safe to say. And because I read the Ultimate X-Men issues that correspond with this event, I know he has been helping train Kitty Pryde as she's kind of leading the mutants out of like the Sentinel camps. So that's what he's doing in the desert here, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
And they're talking over the situation, and Rogers is kind of like, the president told me to keep my boots on U.S. soil, whatever that means anymore. And Nick Fury reminds us that he's still a wanted man in America. And then they just kind of shoot the shit as friends. They're like, how'd you get out of that situation, dude? You took a swan dive off a helicarrier. And Nick Fury just kind of grins and doesn't answer the question. And then he says, last time we talked was only about 100 clicks from here, remember? And John, that was the moment that we also read in Ultimates so long ago.
Yep.
When they were sitting around a campfire, probably eating a can of beans.
Yep. In
the desert. And he's like, Cap, we need you to come back. And Captain America was like, no.
And Captain America says, somewhere in this conversation, like, maybe we wouldn't be in this situation if I had listened to you back then. And we haven't talked about that, but maybe we wouldn't be. What would have happened if Captain America came back?
Well, I don't think it could have been any worse.
I wonder if he's going to wrestle with that at all. He's probably been wrestling with enough grief.
He's probably fine.
He's kind of over that.
Yeah, he seems like the kind of guy who's going to thug it out.
He's in a different era now.
Right. So then, I mean, they talk for a long time, but they don't really say much. That's pretty much the gist of it. And it cuts back to the news reporting on these killer bee robots just mowing down a crowd of people. And it's really sad because you see the bullets like ripping through these people. And one of the things you see is a woman running with her kids. And you're just like, oh, man.
There is a lot of death and destruction going on from these wasps. This is not okay.
This is a more violent panel than we're used to seeing in these comics. And it's against like a defenseless crowd.
Violent, yeah.
It's pretty upsetting. And
who's doing this? This is California doing this again to like people who are on the border, I think.
Yes. It says the refugees riot broke through the camp fences and into the town. The West Coast security system has swooped in and it's a massacre. So yeah, they have like tech bros, they seem to have automated their like border defenses and just given it to these like AI killer bee robots that are shooting people.
No good.
No, I don't like it. And we see in a control room in Sacramento, people are like saying, stop them. They're killing these people. Morez, do something. The system is taking control. And we see Morez, this smug, redheaded dude with one red, one blue eye.
Is it just me? We've seen him before.
Yep.
He showed up the past couple of issues and episodes. He looks a little bit more like a spoiled brat than normal.
Yes.
He's just a little younger than he usually looks, I feel like.
Yes, he looks very like smug here, like a little kid that's like gets his way.
Yeah.
And he tells them, "You said you were desperate to keep them out of your brand new country. The Wasps are just doing what they were told to." And they're like, "Shut it down." And he says, "Sorry, gentlemen, my job here is done. Time for me to move on." And he just vanishes from one panel to the next. His chair is empty. So these leaders aren't necessarily in favor of the massacre. They just aren't capable of stopping it now.
Yeah. Morez has his own schemes and plans, obviously, which you have alluded to a couple times, that he's got more going on than we know about right now.
Well, we saw him like egg on the people in Dallas in the last issue. He was kind of the one behind a lot of their schemes, and I think he gave them the gold to back the new country and everything.
Yes.
So he's
he's the one who's kind of escalating all this.
His game is just destabilization.
Hmm.
And we see this mom and her kids running, and it looks like the Wasps are about to catch up to them. We see the bullets bouncing around their feet. And then all of a sudden, Captain America's shield breaks through one of the Wasps. And he grabs the family and protects them. And the people on the news are like, "Is that who I think it is?"
That's some good captaining America right there.
Yeah. He wasn't fast enough to help a lot of those people, though.
Zach.
Wonder if that's going to weigh on his conscience.
He's gonna rub some dirt on it. He'll be fine.
If he had gone straight to that town instead of going and chatting with his old friend
shooting the shit with Nick Fury for 45 minutes in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like they're standing there. "Oh, so who do you like in this Notre Dame game?" "Oh shit, I gotta be somewhere." Half the people are already dead. So yeah, the Carol Danvers goes up to President Howard and she's like, "Hey, I have a message from Cap." And he's like, "He just resigned the position of Captain America 5 minutes ago. He said he'll send the shield back tomorrow." And we see Cap just fucking up the Wasps, and some of the other Ultimates have joined him. He's got Black Widow and Hawkeye there, also taking out the Wasps and getting people to safety. He's running
as soon as Captain America comes back, he makes one phone call, and all of a sudden, all of the superheroes are like this well-oiled machine of a team again.
Yeah.
They're all working together. You know, what were they all doing?
They were rudderless without him.
They were. This guy's a good leader.
You know, for so long, I held on to the belief that Andrew Luck was going to unretire and come back to play for the Colts. And this is how I imagined it playing out. Like, boom, Cap is back. Follow his lead. We're going to the Super Bowl, boys.
If he ever did come back, that's how it would have gone.
Yep. Guess we'll never know. Cap is running through this like factory, drawing the Wasps away. He's very clearly the diversion that's supposed to like take them away from the crowd. And then Iron Man comes in and he does a big blast right through his like arc reactor, and he blows them all up. And we see on CNN, they're just getting the primo shots of everything Captain America's doing. Wherever he is, you know, dodging or jumping through something or breaking a robot or saving someone, they've got the camera angle there. And we see the reporter say, "Is it legal to write in Cap for president? I don't know, but I did it either way. At least he's out there helping people instead of bickering about politics." And we see some more people say, "Hell yeah, I voted for Captain America."
Captain America getting written in for president.
Yep.
Isn't
What do you
this
think about that?
Isn't this a pretty famous thing? Captain President America?
Captain President America. Yeah, how about that?
I just want to. It makes me wonder about the logistics of it.
Oh, of a snap election?
And you see something in the middle of the day, and now it's going to, like, turn the... I don't know, maybe. You know, people are talking in line. If nobody's excited about either of these, like, people that they've never heard of, you know, if all of our elected leaders did just get blown up in a big blast by an alien. I'm trying to put myself in the situation, and then I'm standing next to someone and they show me a video of Captain America, like, kicking ass, saving people, and they're like, did you hear people are writing in Cap for president just for the lulz? I'd be like, sure, maybe I will.
We've done meme coin presidents before.
Yeah.
No harm in doing another one. And so we cut to a beautiful lake in Wyoming, and there's two boats, and on one side there's like a bunch of hunter outdoorsmen looking dudes with guns, and on the other side it's just Morez, and they're pointing their guns at him, and they're like, "You Morez?" And he's like, "Yes, I am. Thank you for meeting with me." And they say, "Are you a mutie or a Fed or a socialist?" I love that they added socialist. I love the idea that we are like a terrifying power and we need to remember that.
We?
Are you a mutie, a Fed, or a socialist? And he says, none of the above. I think you'll find I'm one of a kind. And we find out that these people are Hydra. They say we're everywhere, been building up in secret for years, trying to keep the government off our backs. And I like this idea that in the Ultimate Universe, Hydra is just like the 3%ers. It's just dudes out in the woods who like guns and hate the government.
Well, that's what I was thinking. You know, Hydra, wow, they have fallen a long way. They used to really be powerful. Now they're just like the Duck Dynasty guys.
They do look like that. Honestly, if you're going for quantity, not quality of recruits, I feel like getting in on like the Fox News cohort is not a bad way to like build the ranks. Anyways, he says, I think you gentlemen have got it all wrong. You shouldn't fear the government. The government should fear you.
Looks like a teenager in this too. In all of reading, I always thought he was just like an adult man. But now this is kind of like 2 times in a row. That's what I mean. I think they drew him a little younger here.
Yeah.
Maybe. I might have to maybe should compare.
I'm about to ruin this for you. You know who I think he looks like? Because I agree he looks really young here. He reminds me of Rex, like little kid Rex Splode.
Rex Splode, yeah, he kind of does.
He's appealing to what they want to hear. He's saying, you shouldn't fear the government. The government should fear you. Don't you know how strong you guys are? You know, you bring an army out of hiding and I'll get the secret ingredient that'll make it invincible. And then the title card drops. And they're like, what are you talking about? And he goes, it's called Project Pegasus. Ever heard it? And we've seen Project Pegasus get robbed by bad guys before. And we know it's no good.
What is Project Pegasus again?
It's where S.H.I.E.L.D. keeps all their stuff.
Oh, that's just everything?
Yeah, it's the base in like, Wyoming where you'll find all the magic
I didn't know if it was
artifacts.
like a specific thing.
Nope, it's just
it's all it's the base.
The bank of easily robbed weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And we go back to what the news is showing about Captain America, and it's beautiful and cinematic, and it says, we are witnessing incredible developments on 2 fronts. As Captain America fights in the West, he has emerged as a substantial write-in candidate in the presidential recall election. And they bring in the fucking analyst dorks who are like, we've never seen numbers like this, blah, 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 blah. Of course, Cap doesn't know any of this because he's still in the battle. And then just as they're like talking about how good he's doing in the polls, he does something else cool and he spikes in the polls again. It seems kind of unfair, John, for this presidential election coverage to be monopolized by the one presidential candidate that's like jumping off of cars and destroying robots in that moment.
But they're just reporting on the news of all the killings.
Yeah.
And Cap saving everyone. Everyone's just seeing it and they're like writing him in.
Dude,
it would be like, yeah.
If I was Senator Underwood right now, I would cause the biggest stink and call Cap an actor. These are all paid actors. This is a fraud.
Maybe they would have a stink about like advertising because you have to give equal coverage to all the candidates. I think we need another special election.
Or it would be funny if they just did a triple split screen of what all these candidates are doing right now, and two of them are just like rich assholes by their pool, and then one's Captain America saving people.
That might not help them.
Anyways, Iron Man says, I found the source of the command signal, Cap. Big gun en route. And we see Tony is kind of talking and working through things with Anthony, his cancer child, his tumor that he talks to. And
Anthony has a nice Iron Man suit now.
He does. He's got a little Iron Boy suit. And it seems like he gets hacked or something because he starts talking some jumbled language and then says, aw, shoot. And then Thor gets to the top of a shipping container and he sees a weird symbol on it.
And Cap still doesn't believe in this tumor.
Oh, yeah,
he says,
no.
Tony, we don't have time for you and your imaginary friends to play games. And I'm not sure if I agree with Cap or Tony. I don't know what this stupid tumor thing is either. This is probably just all in Tony's head.
Well, we've seen it act.
He's multitasking, though, right?
But how is he, like, that doesn't make sense on how they stopped the maker or disarmed that bomb. Like, we know at this point, we have proof of concept that this Anthony thing can do stuff somehow.
Okay. I think I just like it to be explained again.
Right, yeah. Again.
It's just a thing. He's just here. It's
Move
fine.
past it. So, Thor is standing on top of an Asgardian rune that was burned into the roof of this storage unit. Or no, it's not a storage unit. It's the mobile mobile command center that those people were in with Morez. And they were like, we had no idea. Just shut it down. You have to believe us. And Thor's like, I believe you. And he brings down the thunder and destroys the rune, and all of the Wasp drones fall out of the air, like the droids in Star Wars Episode 1 when they blow up the one ship thing.
Exactly like that.
The news is like, this has been a day that Captain America or any American won't ever forget. VNN has confirmed the results.
Why would they say this has been a day Captain America will never forget?
Well, we're about to find out. So we see...
Oh, I guess you're right. Okay.
We see Carol Danvers watching the TV, and Cap is like having a special moment with the kid that he just saved. He takes off his like war helmet and puts it on the kid's head and lets him feel like he's Captain America. And the phone, there's a payphone.
That kid's the real hero.
He is. Remember, kid, anyone can hold the shield. There's a payphone on the corner, and it starts ringing. And they're like, well, that's something you don't see every day. And Captain America goes over and answers it. And Carol Danvers is on the line, and she's like, hey, Cap, it's Carol. So have you ever known me to tell a joke? And he says no. And she goes, good, remember that. Steve, listen to me. You just won the presidential election. And we see him standing there talking on the payphone in the rubble of a destroyed city that he's been fighting in all day.
With the Avengers behind him.
Yep.
Kind of. How is Captain America going to be president?
I don't know. We're going to have to figure that out, but it sure is an interesting concept for a comic.
He's going to cut through the red tape. He's
With
not
the
going to get...
shield.
You think he's going to... Oh, wow. Talk about a good campaign poster, you know.
Swear in on the shield.
A shield cutting through some red tape.
You know he's going to, instead of like signing things, he's going to have like a presidential seal. He's going to have a ring, and it's just the shield emblem on everything.
Just stamp it.
Yeah.
Well, I'd vote for him.
Oh, I
over
know
any of the other crooks, pieces of shit that we've got these days.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked RFK, dude.
I thought you were talking about RFK, like Robert Kennedy, who died a long time ago. And I was like, yeah, he was a good guy, I guess. You know, my parents love the Kennedys.
No, I just chose the craziest
this RFK,
candidate.
he's Does he make some good points? What am I supposed to believe?
Well, if you believe...
Zach, tell me what to believe.
I'll leave it at this. If you believe my boss, he's great. She wished she could have voted for him just as president last time. And I was like,
unfortunately, bosses are usually pieces of shit, so I guess I don't like him.
Yeah, he's a politician for your boss.
I love that. That we should put that on a campaign poster.
Yeah, that's a great hit piece.
That is. Okay, what do we think of this one? What's our rating scale?
I'm gonna say, okay. Do you know how many electoral votes there are?
538.
Yep. Okay, so out of 538, how many electoral votes did
420?
Ooh, okay.
420 out of 538. Let's see what.
That was fast.
That's because 420 is a very special number, Zach. I don't know if you understand that.
No. What's that about?
Zach, 420 is the weed number.
I hate to break it to you, but it's also Hitler's birthday and the Columbine Day.
And it's what? What's the other thing?
Hitler's birthday and Columbine.
Dude, you freaking PC nerds just ruin everything. We just can't have any fun about anything anymore. Oh, 420. Didn't you know that's Hitler's birthday? All right.
I don't actually know if it is, but that's what people used to say.
No, it is. I've heard that. I know that.
Okay.
It is. Yep. Okay. I'm not going to let that ruin my fun.
No, you know what? Don't celebrate the Hitler that committed all the atrocities. Choose 420 to celebrate the Hitler that killed Hitler. That fellow did something good. Right? You just be selective.
Yeah. Okay, so that came out to a 78%, which does feel about right. That's like an 8 out of 10.
I was going to give it an 8 out of 10, so yeah.
Well, you can give it 422 out of 538.
No, I'll keep it
because as we know, Zach, 422 is 422.
All right, I'll give it that.
That's some good stuff.
That was a good one.
And now everybody's learned a little something.
You might be one of the best dad joke tellers that I know. I've thought about this for a long time. When we worked at that one job, one day you came in and I was like, oh, you got a haircut. And without missing a beat, you were just like, no, Zach, I got them all cut. And I've thought about that in the time since. And I'm like, he came up with that so fast. Was he waiting?
I didn't come up with that. It's like, that's a classic.
Right.
But I say that to the kids all the time now. Every time I get a haircut, they say, did you get a haircut? And I say, no, I got all of them cut. And then I have to explain the joke.
Quick with it. I was like, did he walk into this room ready to make that to the first person who said something?
That's great. Did I tell you? I know we hung out the other day. Did I tell you the one about the crows?
You did, but say it again.
Did I tell it on this podcast?
You didn't.
Oh, well. Okay. Zach, this is really interesting. I don't know if you've heard this or not. Wow, it's so interesting. The crows, I don't know if you've seen crows recently, but they have lost their ability to like speak and make noises. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
The crows have gone silent.
The crows have gone silent. Scientists are looking for the cause.
Caw! Another banger.
That's a good one.
You know, that's what we should start doing.
One of my students, she came in one day and said that, and I was like, that's the funniest joke I've ever heard in my life. I'm going to tell that to everyone I meet.
You need to start coming in with a joke of the week. We'll do a joke and a jam.
I could probably do that. You can have a jam, and I can have a joke.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a good one. Captain America is President America.
Well, not yet, because as we all learned in civics class, he has to take the oath of office. He has to be sworn in. Right now, he's just president-elect.
He doesn't care about that red tape.
He just wants to see the red, white, and blue.
Exactly.
They checked his DNA. They checked his DNA. It was better than DNA. They said, we've never seen DNA this good. It's actually USA.
That's so stupid. Oh my gosh, dude. Donald Trump should say that. That's the funniest thing he could ever say.
I hate to tell you this, but that is also something that I stole from like a screen cap. I don't think he actually said it, but I think someone made like a fake meme where it was like the dialogue from him.
He should just look online for things that people are like pretending he says, and he should just like say them.
Get some new content.
Yeah. Okay. Issue 16. How many issues are in this? You Divided We Fall, United We Stand series.
You know, I should probably know that.
When does the Maker come back, Zach?
Not for a minute. What do I say about the Maker? He's the fine china you only bring out on special occasions.
Yep, you have said that. Okay. Well, while you're looking that up, America is divided.
So there's one more issue of Ultimates.
There's only one more
for this run, yeah, that we're doing.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so they're getting things wrapped up here.
Well, yeah, you elect Captain America, you expect a lot done day one.
I mean, that is true. Maybe we like breezed past it in the last issue a little bit, but it was kind of funny to see. He's like in California, and he and the Avengers are just like, they just roll through, settle everything. Then somehow they're in Detroit hours later, settling everything. You know, it really does feel like a comic book where they can travel any amount of distance between panels. And it's all happening in the same day during the same election cycle. That's what I mean when I'm like, it reminds me of like one of those episodes where it's election day and they're doing all of these different things in all these different places, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
It's just solving shit.
And I'm glad you brought it back to that, because that was one thing. Whenever I would watch 24, it was like the most unrealistic part of that show was like over the course of a commercial break. So in his world, like 5 minutes, Jack Bauer was getting across LA traffic.
Yeah.
He was like one side to the other.
This bomb's about to go off, but I'm stuck in traffic.
And here
I guess.
We see Captain America doing the same thing.
So Cap is speaking to a crowd of people, and this time he really does have all of the Avengers behind him. Even young Mr. Miles Morales, the one and only Spider-Man. And behind him, if it isn't James Rhodey, War Machine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that they pulled out the deep cuts for his inauguration speech. I'm sorry, it's not his inauguration, it's his acceptance speech.
But God.
Yeah.
It's the minority characters. That's why they did it.
Well, it's also just the characters.
No, it's
Spider-Man.
Like, no, they're doing blacks for Trump, dude. These guys are all paid actors. I see the same guy at every rally. That's not even War Machine. They hired... what's the actor's name?
Don Cheadle?
They've hired Don Cheadle to play War Machine.
I would never. That's Terrence Howard.
That's Donovan McNabb back there.
Okay. Cap is speaking to his crowd of people, and he's saying, America is deep in crisis. We're divided. America has asked me to lead them. And he says he's a soldier, not a politician. Here, I thought he was going to actually turn this down and be like, guys, I can't be president. I'm not a president, you know. I wouldn't know what to do. If I were elected president tomorrow, I would not know what to do. Especially if I had another job being Captain America.
Yeah. Well,
because he's got to do a lot of like bills. He's probably got to go golf or something.
Dude, they expect him to be on this mysterious island by noon tomorrow.
Yeah.
Has never even met this Epstein guy.
But he does seem like he'd have stuff that he would rather do, and we certainly can't have the president wandering into active battle zones constantly, putting his life in danger. I mean, I'm not going to be the one to tell him not to, but he's saying, you know, but it's a desperate time, and in desperate times, I was taught that everyone must do their best, that we must do everything we can, no exceptions. We must all live up to our potential. That when we are called, we must answer, or we are lost. And he says, I have decided to answer the call of the people. I accept. I, Steve Rogers, Captain America, do solemnly swear that I'll execute the office of the President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend, blah, blah, blah. Okay, he says the thing. Zach, is he going to make a good president or not? And I just got this. Okay, I didn't think of this ahead of time, but is this a little militaristic here? Well, we have all of our super-powered people with giant men standing behind being like, I'm the president now. You guys are going to do what we all say. This is scary to me.
It also, I mean, I get that. Yeah, it does seem that way. And they're doing it in front of the...
Didn't their buddy just take over like the world and blow up everybody?
Yeah. And they're standing in front of the Triskelion. Like, usually this is done on the steps of Congress. This is like the mega Pentagon that they're having this inauguration at.
Yeah. It's the giant men in the background that I really don't like.
For me, it's all the faceless suits that are standing around.
That's true. There are a lot of faceless suits also. Maybe Captain America should have done this by himself or just with Tony or something.
I feel like there was a million better ways to do this because he's also not accepting it as the president. Like, he's accepting it as a superhero. He's in costume. Everyone behind him is in superhero costume. They're standing in front of the superhero building. And then the podium he's talking at has the SHIELD logo, not even like the presidential logo. And then he gives like a vibe-ass speech about himself and like being a superhero, and then rolls right into the oath of office when like usually the oath of office is administered by like some boring judge, right? You don't get to make it your campaign event and then lead into your own oath of office. This is very it's very Trump, honestly. He's got a sense for the theater of politics.
Mm-hmm. But we do like Captain America.
We do.
Yeah.
We also, I mean, we said we liked Trump earlier.
And we liked Trump. Well, that's what I mean. It was more all of this nonsense aside with all of his superhero buddies and putting on a big military show of force to accept the presidency. We still like him. He probably didn't have any, I'm sure he didn't think this through. This seems like something Nick Fury might have put together. And Captain America is an unwitting participant in this.
Captain America here comes off as like, what's the soldier from Always Sunny?
Ben the Soldier.
Ben the Soldier. It's like if we elected Ben the Soldier president, and then he did all of his own like PR.
Yeah. So Captain America, you know, they announced it on the news. They're like, he's now the president of the United States. And they're like, President Cap. I guess that's what he's going to go by. President Cap. And they say, will you move into the White House? And he says, America is my White House. I don't know what that means. I was like, so where are you going to live, though? And he gets into a fighter jet and he just like flies off in a fighter jet, which is a pretty badass thing for a president to do. If Joey Biden did that, oh my God, he'd still be president.
He would have won. Yeah. He would have shit himself in it, but he would have won. Dude, can you imagine if this is like the one episode that Bendis is like, all right, let me check these guys out, see if I want to go on this pod.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me. Yeah, you messaged him or something?
I commented on something and he liked it.
Zach's trying to get the one and only Brian Michael Bendis on the podcast.
He's a busy man, I'm sure. I'm not expecting...
Busy Michael Bendis, that's what they call him.
That's what the B stands for in B&B. Yeah, I'm not expecting to actually get anything accomplished here, but he did like my comment that said, always welcome on our pod. So what if he checked us out right now and was like, what are these boys up to? And he just hears the most unhinged political things where he can't tell which ones are jokes.
They're all jokes. All of them. There you go. Now we cleared it up. Well, at least he knows that the pod exists now. It puts it out there.
I thought about this.
The algorithm will keep sending him more and more things about it.
That's true. Yeah.
What did you think
thought about this. I was like, if he hasn't come on this whole time because he just doesn't, for whatever reason, feel like talking anymore about Ultimate Spider-Man, how funny of a bit would it be if I started inviting him on the pod about Ultimate Spider-Man for an interview where we talk about everything but Ultimate Spider-Man?
We should talk about like the Pacers-Knicks rivalry with Brian Michael Bendis.
Anything that he wants to talk about, just not Ultimate Spider-Man.
Or Ultimate Spider-Man, if he wants to talk about that.
Those are the two choices.
Whatever he wants to.
We'll talk not Ultimate Spider-Man, or we'll talk Ultimate Spider-Man. You let us know, Bendis. Just write back.
Yep. I think we'll get him. Give us a couple more years, a couple more Instagram posts. We'll get him.
Yeah. Hi, Percy.
Okay. We got to get back into this. Yes, Percy's here. He's being very cinematic. Percy
the other
America,
thing.
we call him.
President Captain Percy. At one point when Cap he just takes the oath of office, and then he runs off stage and he says, America is my White House.
That is yeah.
He gets in a fighter jet and he starts to like wave, but he's got his shield in his hand. And at first I thought he had like a giant baseball glove on. And I thought, what would be the more American than President Captain America running off stage, getting in a fighter jet, catching a baseball,
yep,
and then flying to like the Frank's hot dog eating contest.
That's awesome. Scarfing down some dogs. Zach, I still get a dream sometimes. Like if I ever go somewhere where there's like a stupidest thing ever I'm about to say. If I ever go somewhere where theoretically I could possibly somehow run into Peyton Manning, I will sometimes still get a dream about catching a pass from Peyton Manning. Just like, like, hey kid, go out. Oh my God, thanks, Mr. Manning.
No, I feel
that'll never go away.
I think that is truth inside of every man, and it's just which ones of us will own up to it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if my dad ever saw Larry Bird, he'd be like, Mr. Bird, don't want to bother you, but it'd be like an honor if I could make a layup on you right now.
If I can make a layup on Larry Bird, can I break your ankles really quickly? Thanks, Mr. Bird.
Hey, dude, stand here while my friend takes a picture of me jumping over you.
I met Larry Bird one time, and I asked him for an autograph, and I happened to be wearing a Reggie Miller jersey because I was a kid, and I'd always wear my Pacers stuff. And he said, "Do you have a piece of paper?" And I said, "No." And I didn't get Larry Bird's autograph that day.
What a dick.
Oh, well.
My dad, I don't know if I've said this on the pod before, but I like it. It's a fun little anecdote about him. He was the biggest Steve Alford fan. Like, Steve Alford was playing right at the time that my dad cared the most about IU basketball. And it was like the most important thing to him in the world. And he'll talk about how he saw Steve Alford play in the state championship before he went to IU. And
oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure that like my mom has told me that exact same like thing.
Apparently everyone
because they
in
were
the
all
state
Steve, of course,
was at that game. Yeah. And
high school Indiana basketball.
Yes.
What else is there to do?
Hey, in 49 other states, it's just basketball.
Yeah.
My dad has met Steve Alford probably no less than 4 times in his life. Just bump into him when you're in Indiana. And every single time my dad tries to talk to him, he'll be like, hey, Steve, big fan, or like want to shake his hand or something. And every single time, in like progressively funnier and meaner ways, Steve Alford has blown him off. Like he'll like try to open a door for him and be like, "Hey, Steve, how you doing?" And then he'll just like be like, "Fuck you." Dude, Steve Alford hates my dad. He must know.
It's really funny to just like randomly see him out in public that many times, like holding the door open. Hey, Steve, it's me again. Remember?
It's this guy that's following me. Well,
that's funny.
Apparently, this is the weird part. He's like, yeah, I saw him and his dad eating in a Jimmy John's one time. So I go over and say hi. And I'm like, how do you know what Steve Alford's dad looks like? And he's like, everyone knows what his dad looks like. He was at all the games. And I'm like, okay, now you sound like a stalker.
Wow. That kind of reminds me, the woman that has cut my hair the last 2 times,
all of your hairs.
There you go. Yeah. She grew up in like Gary, Indiana, and we were talking about like the Jackson 5, and she was a kid when like they were just a little bit older than she was, and her friend would like go around to all the different like high school talent shows, because there were like talent shows and the Jackson 5 would like enter. So she saw the Jackson 5 a million times just as they were like entering these talent shows in Gary, Indiana. And like obviously well before they were like national news. And then she said like they went on some show and became like huge and blah blah blah. But she'd be like, yeah, I was always gonna marry Michael, and my best friend was always gonna marry Jermaine. And I just think that's like so cool you can say, wow, I saw the Jackson 5 way before anyone else possibly could have.
That is insanely cool. And like if she even paid for those, it was like probably not even $1.
Nothing. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back into this. So Captain America, he does this, right? He throws a baseball, he gets on his plane, he drives away. And Carol Danvers is like, where is he? He's supposed to be here by now. She's like, Captain America can't just fly off. He's the president now. He's got responsibilities. That's what I mean. Captain America is not going to like being president of the United States. I don't think. And to his credit, and he makes a good decision right away here. He's like, he hops on the phone with Carol, and he's like, Carol, you're basically president now. Just make decisions. Whenever I'm out doing stuff, you can make whatever decision you want. And she's like, that's not what a chief of staff does. Besides, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, well, I'm a little busy right now, so I got to go. And we see Captain America is already fighting another group of people with the Ultimates. And this time, I guess there's some border war going on between North and South Carolina, which is this new? Had we heard about this yet?
Yeah, I just don't think we cared until now.
Well, and now there's more wasps here that they're fighting. So we saw wasps on the Arizona-California border, and now this is on the North and South Carolina border. For any geography nerds, those are on opposite ends of the country. So I guess the wasps aren't just a Silicon Valley thing.
Well, we find out that Tony and Thor were up all night. I think that's cute that Thor was helping. They were up all night, like, reprogramming the wasps, so now Tony can control them.
The wasps are on our side now.
The wasps are the good guys now, yeah.
I love it. I love using my enemies' stuff against them.
Yes. We Project Paperclipped the wasps.
Boy, I heard about this pretty fun little operation that some police people did. If you'd like me to do a quick 1-minute tangent so everyone can learn about something called Operation Flagship.
Sure. Go for it.
Okay, I'm going to go quickly. You got it's an audio medium, so you can see Zach was not thrilled about that.
No, I am. I want to know what Operation Flagship is.
Okay, so these police in Washington, like the DC area, they sent a letter to like 3,000 criminals at their last known address, and they were like, hey, you've won tickets to a Washington Commanders. This was back in like 85. So, Washington Redskins football game. And you get to have a brunch before the game. And, you might even win a season ticket prize and blah, blah, blah. And they just got all these criminals to show up for this like Washington Commanders brunch. And then they locked the door and arrested all of them.
Dick move.
I know. I'm like really torn on it.
I'm not. Dude, that's like a backhanded way to... If you're a cop and that's how you get your quota, you can go to hell.
But isn't that... These guys have avoided the law, and they were like some bad criminals, It wasn't just like petty stuff. It sounded like it was bigger stuff.
Right. Well, I'll...
It is a little sneaky. You're like, oh, come on, that's kind of sneaky. But then at the same time, it's like, well, they are trying to arrest criminals. So...
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. How cool the crime was kind of changes my opinion of criminals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're telling me this is how they got Batroc the Leaper, I'm going to be mad, right? Free my guy.
Yeah.
But if this is
I don't think that these were cool crimes.
Okay.
I think these are bad crimes.
Okay. Well, as long as they're bad ones.
Yeah. Okay. So Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man, our three faves, are helping stop this border war between North and South Carolina. I don't really know which side we're on or why we're fighting.
Usually the North is right.
In the historically, that has been the case. But here's what I do know. Captain America and Thor and Iron Man drag these two schlubby leaders from North and South Carolina, and they grab them by their lapels, and they say, shake and make up. And they make them shake, and they say, this war is over. And if you guys don't remember that, I'll send my friends back down here to remind you. We finally got a president who's actually doing something. Would this work if Trump came down to, like, do we even have states that fight with each other? What do people fight about these days?
They fight with him.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I like this. This reminds me of what I do to my cats sometimes when they're fighting with each other.
They're holding them like cats by the scruff of their neck.
I know. I'm like, hey, we're friends here.
I don't know, man. This is very close to like Homelander territory for me. Like, I get that we're not supposed to question the morality of this, but like the president of the United States standing right there while his two enforcers pick up these like political dissidents by their collars. They're like, we're sending a message.
Yeah, but I agree, But doesn't it depend on what side is actually correct?
Yes, exactly. We're only not questioning it here because Captain America is beyond reproach.
No, he's not beyond reproach. They're currently right. We got to keep the Union together. All these guys are fighting. Morez is sowing all this doubt. He's causing all these schemes. When the Avengers go up into space and, beat up on space aliens, we don't say that they're in another country.
They broke the Geneva Conventions.
So, these guys, if this was like Israel and Palestine and they were going over there like, hey, be friends, wouldn't that be fine? That's kind of what Superman was about, wasn't it?
I don't want to reduce the Palestine situation that far. I get what you're saying of like, oh, what if a superhero went over there?
Well, isn't that more accurately? Isn't that kind of what isn't that what Superman was sort of about? Superman just goes over and he's like, we're not going to fight about this stuff anymore. I'm Superman.
Right. But that kind of implies that like there's equal culpability on the hands of the Palestinians, which I don't think Superman was doing.
Okay.
Right. He was like, yes, these are just farmers fighting to keep their land and you're releasing guns on them. Like, that's not fair.
And we don't really know what's going on in this North and South Carolina thing, but the fact that he has both leaders makes me think they both just wanted to take over the other. There wasn't a good side and a bad side. They were both being bad.
I think it's just a bunch of warlords, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, so Cap says that's one down. So, this is where we kind of mentioned it just seems like there's just one thing to go to till the next. And Thor says, Captain, I have grave concerns about these developments, strife, chaos, discord, all seemingly unconnected, yet somehow coordinated. I've seen this before. In Texas, on a gold bar, I recognized an old rune, thousands of years old Asgardian. And Captain America is like, I thought she said all the Asgardians were dead. And Thor says, there's one Asgardian in particular who has returned from certain death. You could say he is known for it. Zach, I got a little titillated at this. By the way, Omaha's here now.
Oh, hi, Omi.
Hey, Omi. She's exactly where Percy was earlier.
I see that.
Okay, if you remember, weeks ago we said that it seemed like Morez was doing Loki things. I would be pretty proud of myself if he ended up being Loki. So when Thor said this, I was like, oh my gosh, is Morez Loki? Wow, maybe he is. Zach did kind of, when I said he's doing Loki things, you were like, oh, interesting you say he's doing Loki things. So who knows?
Yeah. You definitely clued in on something early on.
And Cap says, Thor, if you're worried, then I'm worried. That's a good leader. Trusts his men. But there are terrible weapons at risk in Wyoming. I need you there first, then we deal with this. In the meantime, I've got another problem to tackle. And so Wyoming is where Project Pegasus is. So he's saying, Thor, we need you to go to Wyoming to Project Pegasus and defend these weapons. How do they know things are getting attacked at Project Pegasus? It's just already started, probably. The attack is already in your hand.
Yep.
And luckily for Thor, he wants to go check out this guy. He wants to go look for the Asgardian thing. And we know Morez is at Project Pegasus, right? That's his idea.
Mm-hmm.
Our storylines are about to meet up. So Captain America, he calls Senator Underwood, and Senator Underwood's like, there's red tape. You don't have the authority to do this, and he's like, my job is to bring America together. And Senator Underwood tells him, I really need you to stay out of these. You can't just be John Wayne. These things take time and patience. And basically, Cap's not having any of it. He just flies into another war zone. He starts shooting his plane. That's what he does.
While blasting Born in the USA.
So where is he now? Now he's in Detroit, Michigan. Oh, yeah, because now he's got to take out this Fidel Castro Detroit guy, right?
Yep. I'm impressed.
This one place to the next, man.
This actually is Detroit, and I can recognize this exact intersection because I've parked in that parking garage overlooking these trees. Yeah, there's like a 5-way intersection right there with a little park in the middle.
Wow, very cool. Mm-hmm. And look, it's all getting blown to hell by Captain America.
Oh no, there goes my car.
Just imagining Born in the USA blaring out of a jet as it just rains hellfire down onto the city. Now that's comedy. That's some Team America comedy right there.
I'm trying to start my car. The key won't ignite. I'm like, no. Born in the USA is just getting louder. Dude, can you imagine the payout if the fucking president of the United States bombed your car on U.S. soil? Like, sometimes I pray I get hit by a city bus because I know I'll get 6 figures. Like, the president dropped a bomb on my car would do generational numbers.
Yep. I forgot he was the president. Well, now this scene added another layer of humor that it's not just Captain America blasting Born in the USA. He's also the sitting president of the United States.
And yet, he still might not be the president to have done the most harm to Detroit.
Yeah.
That's still Reagan.
I don't know anything. Now, is this war on drug stuff? Now this is real life awful things.
You know it's that crack rock that he introduced.
Yep. Okay, so President Cap He's landing in Detroit. He says, I'm landing in your camp with or without permission. And he just like strolls out of his little jet, and he kind of just walks up to the enemy people. And he's like, drop your weapons. I'm your president. This is a very interesting situation that these people would be in. I mean, he's taking a lot of risk just walking up to them, but I guess nobody wants to be the person that shoots the president.
Historically not true, but we'll allow it.
And Cap just looks at him and he says, I want my bird gassed up and ready in 20 minutes. This isn't going to take long. And the next scene we see on the news, it said, as soon as word spread, crowds of people descended upon Detroit, desperate to catch a glimpse of their new president as he strides into the heart of what has been an active war zone. President Cap dragged out David Seeger, the dictator of Detroit, who has plunged the heartland into chaos. Cap barely managed to turn him over to SHIELD forces before being mobbed by adoring multitudes. We finally got a good one. This is just some John Wayne justice right here.
Dude, do you think this is what like the internal videos in North Korea say about Kim Jong-il?
Definitely. As you started that sentence, I was actually thinking, I want AI to make Trump like videos of him doing stuff like this.
Dear leader.
just strolling in his Captain America outfit.
I would pay money to see Donald Trump in a Captain America outfit. It has to be like realistically tight though.
Yeah. And so Cap saved Detroit. And Senator Underwood is watching on TV and he's not happy. And he says, yes, I'm watching Morez. No, I completely agree. He's too reckless, and Wyoming is too valuable. I gave him a talk, but he doesn't appreciate subtlety. And he's talking about the talk he gave to Captain America to just kind of like stay out of, politics. It's just like what people tell us all the time, right? And just like Cap, we're not going to do it.
When the whole rest of the world tells you to lay down, you stand like a tree. And...
Exactly. And say, no, I will talk about politics. And Senator Underwood says, don't worry, Morez. We'll try something less subtle. So we cut to Thor in Wyoming at Project Pegasus. And he's like, oh my gosh, he's calling back to Cap, and he says, Captain, there are legions of people preparing invasions for Project Wyoming, and we can see a bunch of army tanks and whatnot, and I guess maybe they're preparing to invade. I had just thought maybe that was like defense, but maybe this is offense. They want to take Project Pegasus. But anyway, we don't have much time to think about it because Thor is immediately struck down by like an Asgardian magic rune. I'm guessing when he got too close, it was going to like shock him or something. And he says, Captain, that rune, I was right. I don't know how, but there's an Asgardian at work here. I must find them. I'm no longer alone. And Cap says, negative, Thor, because he wants Thor to stay and keep working on Project Pegasus. And as that's happening, Cap calls Commander Flum. We remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the SHIELD dictator who's somehow even worse at his job than Nick Fury. But he's like a bad guy who's bad at his job, whereas Nick Fury is a good guy who's bad at his job.
Correct.
Yes. And Flum and Captain America have a call, and I'm just going to summarize this call from what I got out of it. It seems to me they're doing just the classic thing that people are doing to Captain America, where they're like, don't do this, and he's like, I'm going to do it. And Flum ends up tracking his bird, and he shoots a missile at it and tries to assassinate Captain America. Did I get that?
Yep.
Did I miss anything?
Nope. Oh, and I think he also like incriminated himself that he was working with Underwood.
Okay. And so, yes, this is Underwood that's really like sending this. This is a plan of Morez, Underwood, and Flum to take out Captain America. And because Captain America is in a government jet, so they try and send a missile after it. And they're like, oh, it blew up. We killed him. And then Flum says, delete record, and it says deleted. So they deleted that conversation that they had and the record of him sending the missile. And just then, Black Widow jumps in and says, Commander Flum, you're under arrest for the attempted assassination of the President of the United States. And she kind of grows from her, oh, so this is Wasp. Is this Black Widow or Wasp? I think it's Black Widow. But she used PIM particles to get small, and then so she was spying on him. And Captain America blasts in another jet, and he says, that jet wasn't it wasn't actually the jet I was in. I can't believe you tried to kill me. And he punches him, and he says, you're fired. So presumably Nick Fury will be back in charge now.
Man, this issue would have been so much better if Donald Trump was Captain America, and he gets to say, you're fired.
Definitely. I'm sorry, I'm just not that interested in the Director Flum stuff. I've kind of forgotten about it. I thought we were over that.
Well, he's a really bad villain because he hasn't actually done anything villainous. Like, he's just always weaseling around, and he's like, yes.
That's what I was thinking, is we just currently have a surplus of people like that in the story. You know, we have Howard, who is kind of a bad president, who is kind of weaseling, and then we have Underwood, and we have Morez, and now Flum comes in, and it's like, what's the difference between any of these guys anyways?
Wow, maybe that's like the point, man. Maybe that's like the takeaway of the whole event.
You just blew my frickin' mind.
Politicians are bad.
Except when they're beating on people with their shields.
Yeah, except for Captain America. Everyone write in Captain America in the next election.
Yeah. So somebody comes into Senator Underwood's room. Boy, he's not going to be happy about this. He thinks that he thinks his assassination attempt has gone off without a hitch. And he says, you have a call from the president. And it's a video call. And Captain America is holding up Director Flum by the lapel like a cat. I like that he does this to people. And he says, you shoot at me, you better not miss. I've got enough evidence to string up you and your partner here on charges of high treason. So here's how it's going to be. Monica Chang, the Black Widow, is the new head of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're invading Wyoming, and your Senate Emergency Powers Committee is disbanded, effective immediately. And Senator Underwood is kind of yelling back. He's like, who do you think you are? You're going to be impeached by the morning. You're not FDR. You're a clown in a flag. And he says, disband us. You don't have the power to disband us. And we see Hawkeye behind Senator Underwood smacking him with an arrow. And he says, he won't do it. You will. I'm Hawkeye, your new special envoy to the president. Let's get to work. This is an abuse of power. But it's good because they're the good guys. I kind of liked it better when they were just superheroes who could, like, act outside of the law more than, like, they are now the state acting as the government.
Yes.
It's not as much fun.
No. But it is funny where they, like, try to pick and choose when the law applies. Like, Captain America's like, there we go. We got enough charges on you that it'll stick. We're like, dude, you're the president of the United States, and you're just doing whatever the fuck you want. What do you mean we got enough evidence for the charges to stick?
Yeah, we all know the president can't just do whatever he wants.
Actually, what is it? Unified executive theory? It's a real thing. It was like anyways, look it up.
I'm guessing it just says that the president can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, that's actually a way faster way to explain it than what I was going to do, which was ramble.
So we're back at Project Pegasus. We're in Wyoming. I wonder how many episodes we have at some point said, yeah, the president can't just do whatever he wants. Probably a lot. Probably people have heard that come out of my voice before. All right, we're back at Project Pegasus. We're in Wyoming. Morez is there. They've taken over the space pretty easily, man. I mean, there wasn't even a fight as far as we saw. He's just strolling around the inside with someone who looks like Shane Gillis to me. And he says, is your Hydra army assembled? And the person he's with says, we're at 87%, Morez. The remaining militias are on their way from outlying areas. So Hydra really is just all of the, like, backwood militias, you know?
Yeah. They say we've got a unit en route, and it's like, oh, there's Dave. Here he comes.
He says, it will have to be enough. I've obtained my prize from this installation, my birthright. A fearsome weapon to make us unstoppable. We'll march down the mountain range and split this country in half. And he's getting some pretty devilishly wicked smiles on his face. And he's saying things like birthright. And I gotta be honest, I'm like, this is Loki. Wow, nailed it. Even all those episodes ago, I said, this guy's doing Loki things, and this is Loki. But they haven't said it yet. And the other guy says, leave now. So maybe they didn't know that he was going to go this crazy when he wanted to take over. But anyway, just then, it seems like that other guy disappears. Actually, Zach, I don't understand. Before we get into this, where did this guy go?
He's telling Shane Gillis to leave. He's like, the guy walked him in. He's like, well, here it is. Here's the storeroom. This is all the stuff. And he's like, awesome, get out.
Oh, okay. And as Shane Gillis leaves, Loki, maybe, starts talking. And he says, we're all alone now. It's just you and me. Just family. I don't suppose you brought your friends, the armored man who speaks with his malignancy, the red, white, and blue patriot. And how do you fit in? And Zach, I've got to tell you, I'm pretty certain that this is Loki at this point. And he's talking to Thor, and he says, a god without immortality, a son without family, a champion without a kingdom. What if I could solve all of that, give you everything you lost? All you have to do is help me. You will help me one way or another. It's in your blood. And Thor says, I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you escaped death this time, brother, but by our father, Loki, I'll... And Morez looks at him and says, brother, with a question mark. So maybe this isn't brother. And all of a sudden, a bright light, he kind of like exudes from himself. And, you know, Morez kind of changes into his Asgardian form. He's got a bunch of, fancy colors and, he still looks kind of goofy, but he looks very fancy, we can say.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm not your brother, I'm your son. I am Modi, the last surviving Asgardian, and I am your only god. Bow, father, bow and obey. This is where his son was. I kind of forgot about his son. I'm also a little bummed it's not Loki.
Yeah. So every time the sun has come back up and you're like, why are we doing this? Thor has a son. What do you mean because he was in the world tree, right? He was locked away in there when the Maker came. And then in the very last issue of the Maker storyline, we saw him break through, and you said he's too late. But he's not too late. He was arriving precisely when he means to be the villain of this arc.
And he has the hammer.
That's right, he has Mjolnir.
Why is he going to be the villain?
I don't know. I kind of don't like that either. Like, Thor really thought he was saving his son. Yeah. Thor's son should be a good guy. It's in the rules.
Yeah. Okay, what do we think of this one?
Less fun than the other one, but still good.
I was thinking the same thing.
I'll give it 7 out of 10 people held up like cats.
I'll give it 7 out of 10 people being scruffed like cats as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a pretty good one. It didn't seem like it was paced quite as well as the other one where we were just bouncing around so quickly from thing to thing. It was just a very important day.
I'd agree with that. This was just like a day in the life of our president, and it just shows you all the important things that he scurries off to, from to and fro. I'm not sure, we kind of touched on it, but it's more fun when Captain America is just kind of flying in, being like, I'm Captain America and I'm going to kick your butt, versus when he flies in and goes, I'm the president of the United States and I'm going to kick your butt. It's like, that loses something to me. It does lose something. I can't explain it, but it feels like he went from being the star quarterback to being the superintendent.
Yep, exactly. Okay. We're done with Spider-Man / the Ultimates. We did get some Spider-Man today.
He was there in that one panel.
He was there. He was at the inauguration.
Yeah. Which is crazy because I bet his parents are like, Miles, where were you? We all wanted to watch the swearing in of Steve Rogers together.
They would probably be so proud if they knew. One day he's going to show a picture and be like, I was there.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
I don't have anything else.
Well, what do we think is going to happen with IU football? Because probably the semifinals and the finals will probably happen before we hop on again.
You're right.
Zach,
I guess.
Are they going to get the win? That was a pretty dominant performance against Alabama.
I believe in this team. It's probably going to hurt me.
Seems like they're the best.
But I just want to keep riding. I just want to ride with it all the way to the championship and for once not be hurt by Indiana sports.
It's like hard to the inevitable loss is going to feel crushing because they seem so unbeatable at the moment. I mean, they seem like they are so much better than every other team that they play.
Yeah.
But the thing is, football is a weird game, and if the ball gets tipped and it becomes an interception, or there's a sack fumble, like turnovers are that's in my years of gambling, that's how the better teams lose to teams they shouldn't lose to. Is they, a couple silly turnovers, and now all of a sudden, it's a really close game. So Who knows? But I think that they've got it.
I think so as well. I shudder to think that this will have a 2-week delay and will be proved wrong, and then it goes up. But no, they looked amazing in the Rose Bowl. I feel very good going into these final 2 games. I was talking to someone today about Fernando Mendoza, and I realized I finally put my finger on what I like about him. And that's that I was a big Johnny Manziel fan when he was at Texas A&M. And it feels like Fernando Mendoza is like the ethical hoops version of Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
Like if
he had the same swagger, he's traits, just a nicer guy.
If he had the same traits, but he did everything the right way, quote unquote.
Yeah. Yeah, he seems like a goofball. I like they're all fun. Every time they interview some IU guy, it seems like he's just out there having a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, I really hope they pull it off.
I think they're going to. I guarantee it even.
Ooh.
I'd like to see anybody drudge up these words in a couple of weeks.
That's a Johnny Betts lock for you, folks.
I'm gonna say 27-10 against Oregon. And dude, they just seem so much better than everybody, except for Miami. I do think the U is pretty good. So I'm going to say 27-10 against Oregon, and then I'm going to say 17-13 against Miami in the championship. There's
Defensive
my predictions. Game. Yep.
Okay. I'm going
to write these down here for us, Zach. Okay, I'm listening. I'm going to write mine down while you're talking.
Okay. I am going to say 25-19 against Oregon. I just feel like that's going to be one of those weird score games. And then I'll say 21-13 in the championship against Ole Miss.
I was already writing down Ole Miss before you said that, by the way. I could just tell that you were going to go Ole Miss.
I'm of the mindset, just take the win. I don't want to make the road harder. You know how there are people who are like, oh, to be the best, you got to beat the best. We already did that. We played Ohio State. We've beat everybody we needed to. Let's just face off against Ole Miss and make it not as hard.
I mean, that would be an easier win. But I don't know. I'm rooting for Miami, kind of. I like the U. So
there you go, folks.
IU's going to beat anybody that they play.
2 weeks from now, we're going to look like the biggest fucking fools when Ole Miss has embarrassed IU in the championship.
Maybe. It's a weird sport. Do we have anything else?
Happy birthday, John. It's coming up.
Oh my gosh, and happy birthday to you too. Zach, your birthday is tomorrow.
Mine is tomorrow. Yours is Sunday.
Yep.
We won't probably speak again between then. So, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to both of us.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to do anything fun?
It's kind of been a week of fun stuff. It's like we took off today, didn't even mean to, but yeah, we did something. We went up to Chicago on Saturday. We went up to Chicago with Alyssa on Saturday, and we just did like a quick day trip up there. And then Sunday, me and Shyla got pedicures, went to the mall, saw movies. Yeah, having
what movie
pizza at my parents' tomorrow. So she saw Avatar. I didn't want to see Avatar, so I watched Marty Supreme.
You guys went to and saw two different movies?
We went to the movies and saw two different movies. Yeah.
That's funny. Did you both like them?
We did, yeah.
Good.
Have you seen Marty Supreme?
I've never even heard of that.
It's an A24 movie with Timothée Chalamet in it.
Huh.
And it's pretty good. I'll recommend it to you and say this, like it's got a lot to do about like sports and like the personality type that most often becomes like dominant in sports, right? It's someone who's like obsessive and selfish and a little bit of a con man, and they'll just sacrifice anything for like greatness, right? You hear stories about like Michael Jordan, and he was not a nice guy off the court. Nothing mattered to him but winning basketball games. Same thing about like Babe Ruth. Marty Supreme is a story about like a fictional guy in the 50s who is trying to be that for ping pong. He's like, I'm already the best ping pong player in America. If I win the world championship, I can be the best in the world. And he thinks he's going to be like on Wheaties boxes and be the face of this rising sport. And so he's just like stealing and swindling. And
all right, don't spoil this. Cheating. I might watch it. This has piqued my interest enough that I actually might see this one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah,
he's still in theaters?
It's still in theaters, yeah.
Okay.
And it's got Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. It's got Gwyneth Paltrow, Tyler, the Creator.
Okay. I might go... This I play a little bit of ping pong. I've got a table in the basement or in the house, so maybe this will be a fun little movie to go see.
Yeah, and as I'm walking out of it, there's like a group of like teenage girls that had just seen it as well, and I hear them, and they're like, I don't get it. He wasn't really a good guy. Yeah, like I didn't even really like him, and I'm like, yeah, he's like he's not meant to be like the heroic character.
Yeah,
but he's interesting nonetheless.
Huh. Okay, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, what's our jam of the week, Zach?
Born in the USA, I was. Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen, the campaign song of Captain President Steve Rogers' America.
Amazing. And I already gave my joke of the day about the crows.
Yep, that was a good one.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Thank you all for listening and leaving us a review or a comment. You can find us the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast on Spotify or Apple Music or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. And you can come and chat with us on Instagram at First Read Podcast. Send us an email at firstreadspidey@gmail.com or find us on YouTube, the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast. See you next week, Zach.
See ya.